Welcome back to my channel. Subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, the video I'm about to share is very interesting and educative, so I would advise you to watch it till the very end. In this video, a fellow African woman explains a lot of things, especially on what has contributed to us Black people feeling inferior to palm color people. Now, this video literally explains how palm color people messed up Africans by calling us black. This all happened when the British came to Africa. Now, prior to that, we Africans did not have color, not until the British came in and taught Africans about black and white. Now, this is what has led to a lot of problems because these teachings were about how anything white is nice and anything black is bad, which comes back to us people. A lot of Africans grew up with the negativity of thinking that we are not good enough because of our skin tone. We are black. And for palm color people, this created positivity in the sense that they feel they are superior because of their color. Listen carefully as she shares all of this and gives valid examples of why this is still affecting us even up to now. I will be right back.
If I were to ask you right now, all of you, what color is the devil? I want you to answer that question to yourself. And I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. Let me guess. Most of you said black, didn't you? And then I'm going to ask you another question. What color are the angels? Let me guess. Most of you said, who has seen either? And yet we accept it. You see, growing up in my village in Zimbabwe, the British did not come to Zimbabwe until 1896. Prior to that, we had our own gods that we worshipped. We had spirit mediums who were our intermediaries to the higher power. They had no color until the British arrived. Then the British began to, you can remember the missionaries were sent to Africa to teach us how to read, but not how to reason. So we're programmed to receive that which they wanted us to receive. And so one of the things they taught us was the issue of God. Remember, in 1896 in my country, we did not have those colors. And I was not referred to as I was African. But somehow we were just told that you're, and then the other race is. And then the other race, you take, you say is pure. The angels are, you wear weddings, you wear for christening, and then you take another group of people and say you. So the children are raised that you're beautiful. Everything that you represent is perfect. And when they step outside the door, the world validates what they are being told at home. Now you take these two children. One is surrounded by nothing but negativity about that which they represent. The other is surrounded by nothing but positivity about that which they represent. How do you expect these children to look at themselves as equal? These are some of the subliminal messages that are being passed on to our children. And in my own assessment, and when you look at it from the African point of view, it explains why some of our leaders, people who are supposed to represent us, when they sit across the table with others who don't look like them, they automatically feel inferior. It is a serious problem. It affects our ability to feed our children as mothers. It affects our ability to provide for us children to go to school, provide good healthcare systems, provide good infrastructure. It starts right there. The failure to stand up and defend that which you believe in and defend that which is blatantly wrong.
Now, the British colonial expansion in Africa contributed to the white-black divide through policies that emphasized racial hierarchies, discriminatory practices, and the imposition of artificial borders that often ignored existing ethnic and cultural boundaries. These actions fostered social, economic, and political disparities, laying the foundation for divisions that persist to varying degrees in African nations today. British colonial policies in Africa frequently involved favoring certain ethnic or racial groups over others, creating a system of privilege that perpetuated divisions. The implementation of indirect rule, where local elites were co-opted to govern on behalf of the British, often deepened existing social inequalities. Additionally, the British colonial administration's use of divide and rule tactics exacerbated tensions between different ethnic groups, contributing to long-lasting intergroup conflicts. The legacy of these policies has influenced power structures, identity politics, and socio-economic disparities in post-colonial Africa. Now, before British colonization, Africa was home to diverse and complex societies with rich cultural, economic, and political systems. Various African kingdoms, empires, and communities had their own governance structures and trade networks. Social organization was often based on ethnic, linguistic, or cultural affiliations, and there was a range of economic activities, including agriculture, trade, and craftsmanship. The pre-colonial era in Africa saw significant achievements in art, architecture, and technology. Many societies had well-established systems of governance, trade routes, and diplomatic relations. While there were occasional conflicts, the continent was not characterized by the systematic racial divisions that later emerged during the colonial period. Now, when it comes to feelings of inferiority to palm-color people among Africans, these can be traced way back to the historical impact of colonialism and the associated ideologies of racial superiority propagated by colonial powers. The colonial era often involved the imposition of European cultural norms, values, and standards, creating a narrative that European ways were superior. Now, this Eurocentric mindset, combined with the economic exploitation and social hierarchies established during colonial rule, has left lasting imprints on the psyche of individuals and communities. Even after gaining independence, the residues of these perceptions can persist, influencing perceptions of self-worth and contributing to complex dynamics in post-colonial societies. Now, the notion that anything white is nice and anything black is bad is rooted in historical colonial ideologies that perpetuated racial hierarchies and contributed to a Eurocentric worldview. During the colonial era, European powers often portrayed their culture, values, and appearances as superior while marginalizing and stigmatizing African cultures. Now, this Eurocentric perspective extended to notions of beauty, intelligence, and societal norms, fostering a sense of inferiority among Africans. Now, it was reinforced through education systems, media, and other cultural influences that emphasized European standards as the benchmark for success and sophistication. Challenging these ingrained beliefs involves efforts to promote cultural pride awareness and education that highlight the richness and diversity of African cultures. It also requires dismantling systemic inequalities and fostering inclusive narratives that recognize the value of all cultures and individuals, irrespective of skin color. Addressing these historical legacies is a complex process that involves cultural, social, and systemic changes. Now, the historical impact of colonial ideologies and racial hierarchies has affected the upbringing of both black and palm-colored children. For us black children, it may lead to internalized feelings of inferiority, identity struggles, and challenges in forming a positive self-image. On the other hand, palm-colored children may grow up with certain privileges and biases that stem from historical structures of power and dominance. Education and media plays significant roles in shaping perceptions, and the portrayal of certain cultures and skin colors as superior or inferior has influenced how children perceive themselves and others. It's crucial to recognize these dynamics and work towards promoting inclusivity, diversity, and understanding in education and cultural representation. Now, this has also influenced how a lot of Africans view themselves when around palm-color people. The legacy of colonialism, which often promoted a Eurocentric standard as superior, can contribute to feelings of inferiority, self-consciousness, or even a desire to conform to Western norms. Now, this dynamic can manifest in various ways, affecting self-esteem, cultural identity, and interpersonal interactions. Some Africans may feel the need to validate their worth or conform to perceived Western standards, while others may assert their cultural identity proudly. Now, this how palm-color people messed us up by calling us black. But what do you, my viewers, have to say about this video? Share your views in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.